Hey, 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 little busted babies. The growl is back. The growl is back. All right. So I just finished. I started watching the video that I posted on Dr. Ed Winter. I got my computer here so that I can get my facts together because I hated how I didn't know who sang that song. Thank you to a viewer who told me that it was true. Al DeBarge had nothing to do with that song, so I don't know why it was in my mind. However, it was there. I had to sing it. It's still in my mind, to be honest. All I do is think of you day and night. I can't get you. I don't even know the words, y'all, but it's still in my head. So, anyways, as I said, I just finished watching my Dr. Ed Winter reading. I didn't know his name when I did the reading. I only did it after doing my El DeBarge reading, but I had to go back when I got ready to post it so I could find a thumbnail of him, and that's where I found his name. And I also found, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to show y'all my chi-chis, because I didn't know how exposed my chest was under my jacket. Hold on, you guys, because if y'all see my tickle bitties, boy, I'm going to charge everybody on my subscribe. I'm going to go to membership only, because what y'all ain't going to do is not pay me to see my tickle bitties, okay? Y'all gonna pay to see these pretty tickle bitties. Anyways. That's weird. Anyways. All right. So like I was saying, in my research of looking for his thumbnail and looking about his experience with Kim Porter, I found that he was the same doctor who recorded the autopsy for Michael Jackson. He recorded the autopsy for Whitney Houston, and y'all know I did a reading on her, Paul Walker, and somebody else. They say that he got his career start from, I think it was like Phil Spector or something. Hold on, you guys. Let me, Dr. Ed Winter. Okay, so famous Los Angeles County coroner. He died at 73. They said it was natural causes. They said he handled the death of some of Hollywood's biggest celebrities, such as okay, here we go. Whitney Houston, Paul Walker, Tom Petty, Brittany Murphy, and most notably, Michael Jackson, Kim Porter. Now, what do all those cases have in common? Because I have heard conspiracies surrounding every one of those deaths. Every one. Michael Jackson and the Propofol and the Strange Doctor, and then This Is It, and Sony getting all the coins. Whitney Houston, I did a reading on that, and y'all know how that went down. Paul Walker, I heard, and I think that came up as the Fool in Reverse when I read him on Kim Porter. Paul Walker was a turning point in his career. Something about that stood out to him. Something about that affected him in some way. I think, and I'm saying this because of what I saw online, and then what I saw based on my metaphysical opinion, I did see that Paul Walker, it was said that Paul Walker died quickly. They quoted Dr. Ed Winter in an interview he did. He was quoted, because I saw it in quotes, saying Paul Walker died very quickly. And the article went on to say, and maybe this is TMZ that I saw it on. I want to get my facts together. And I'm wearing my fur chilla. my fauchilla, because for one, it's colder than usual in Florida, and two, I think that I would like to always have my head covered when I do these readings to protect myself and my energy. And I have been online looking for like hooded robes and things because I like robes. I wear robes around the house. I have one on underneath this coat. But a hooded robe, I like those. I'm sorry. I know I'm gonna look like a Illuminati member, if that's what you guys like to call it. I'll probably fit in good with the Illuminati, other than the fact that I'm not down for black magic, throwing hexes unprovoked, or manipulating mankind. However, I probably do good in one of those secret societies. Anyways, he said about Paul Walker, well, the article, and I want to say that this is on Winter's first day on the job, he was assigned to a notorious celebrity case, the death of Lana Clarkson at the hands of music icon Phil Spector, who was convicted of murdering her. Paul Walker, okay, here it is. Paul Walker's horrific death was another high-profile case Winter managed. He went on TV to explain, now this is per TMZ, so Google Dr. Ed Winter, and then click on the TMZ article that comes up. It might be the first one. He went on to explain what happened in the car crash. He died instantly, Winter told reporters. Despite reports, the actor was screaming for help. If you go back to my reading, I pulled up in his as above position the Fool in reverse, and I was saying, like, did he die on a cliff in an accident? No, it was Paul Walker. And because it was in his as above position, even though I was reading him about Kim Porter, I think that Paul Walker death was the last high profile case he handled before Kim Porter. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just saying that because out of all of those, Paul Walker was the last one to pass away before Kim Porter. I think that stood out to him because how he fumbled it. Because it says, despite reports that the actor was screaming for help, people were saying that Paul Walker didn't die instantly, but the doctor said he did. Now, why? I've read Whitney Houston's case before. I've seen it. I've seen the conspiracy surrounding it. I haven't read Michael Jackson, but I believe the conspiracies. Why is Dr. Ed Winter the go-to coroner when there ends up conspiracies surrounding someone's death? It makes me think that is why I saw him in the place that he was in the underworld, weeping, moaning, gnashing of teeth, and fire. And he felt like, I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve to be dead because I played by the rules. I played by the rules. I got paid to do what they told me to do, to report what they wanted me to report. So I don't deserve to be here, but you do. You do. And the only reason that I said he came from a different place than I've seen anybody else come from, including Diddy, is because Diddy is alive. Most of the dead people that I read are victims. Now, I didn't expect him to come up in the state that he did. I just wanted him to tell me what he knew about Kim Porter. But I found that he is the go-to doctor in LA when some shit needs to be covered up surrounding somebody's death, when it needs to look natural or clean cut. Which makes me think, what was the point? Even if Paul Walker died in that car crash and he did not die instantly, what was the point of saying he did? Now, that's a genuine question for me. I'm not asking that to make my viewers think. I'm asking that because I would like to know. Which brings me to this reading. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to conjure him up again. I will try, even though I was met with a demon who told me I had a limited time to talk to him. However, if I can't talk to him, I'll talk to whoever can speak on behalf of his soul. So, with that being said, I'm not going to read Dr. Ed Winter in regards to any one person at this moment. I'm going to read Dr. Ed Winter and his life and his career, because I'm curious about him and why he's the go-to for those kind of deaths that rang suspicious. It makes him look very, very, very strange in my eyes. Cleanse my hands. Let me clap it up. I do that to wake up the ashe in the palm of my hands. Dr. Ed Winter. Dr. Ed Winter. I know where you are. I know what circumstances you are under. But this is a part of your reckoning. So wherever you are and whomever has him under their guard, allow me to speak with his soul again. And if not his soul, send someone to speak on behalf of his soul. Because if he is being allegedly punished for something in the afterlife, I don't want to bother that. I don't want to bother with whatever y'all got going on with him, because there was a strong entity that stepped up on his behalf. That never happened to me before. And I respect the spirits. So whatever y'all got going on over there, I respect that. But I still would like him to speak his truth based on these suspicious deaths that he managed. Dr. Ed Winter. Death cannot hold your secrets. I will sniff them out. Come. Dr. Ed Winter, I call your soul from where it is in the west, where the sun sets, and its heat gives constant fire to that part of the underworld. Come, Dr. Ed Winton, in your chains or whatever state that you are in. Come. With your guardian, come. Yes, 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 yes. Drag him in here. Drag him in here. Oh, if you think I'm going to have compassion, I don't. Speak to me about your life and your career, about the high-profile deaths that you managed. That's what I brought you here for. Speak to me in truth. Or my only prayers for you is that wherever you are, in whatever state that you're in, that it be increased by 10. Speak to me truthfully about the high-profile cases that you managed. Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Lana Clarkson, Paul Walker, Kim Porter, and any more that we don't know about. Those were all suspicious deaths. Why were you called to manage them? What do you have to say about those cases? Brittany Murphy. I'm not allowed to forget her either. Brittany Murphy. Talk to me about those people. You saw them in their state of death and decay. You handled their bodies, which is why I understand why you are where you are. Grim Reaper. Let's talk. Ed Winter. Dr. Ed Winter. Let us talk about your high-profile cases. Now, when I read him in Kim Porter's reading, In his recent past, the Ace of Wands was upright. You guys go back and watch it. Even though this is for entertainment purposes only, and I'm only using my imagination to create narratives that I see from picture cards about people, and it should not be taken as fact. Why was this in his reading in his past position in the upright, but when I call him up now, this same card, out of 72 cards I could have pulled, another one that I pulled reading him before. Whenever there was something that was done that needed to be covered up, they would call him. The one case that you handled that resulted in a celebrity being charged for murders was your first case. After that, have you ever worked on another high-profile case where anyone was convicted of that person's death? Everybody else was ruled a natural cause under you except for Paul Walker. And then you went on to say that he died quickly when people said he didn't. You were the one called in to cover up or say something didn't happen when in fact it did. Challenging you. Murders. This is never accidental death for me. This is never, the Ten of Swords is never accidental death. What looks accidental about knives in somebody's back and them being laid out on the ground in a shroud of red? Doesn't that make you look like blood? Doesn't it make it look like blood? Knives in somebody's back? Come on now. Why is this in your reading, doctor? Why is this in your challenging position to the things that you say when they occur? Do they call you to cover up the deaths? To say that it was natural, not a murder? No doom and gloom in these skies. The sun is rising in these skies. You're challenged though. It's in your challenging position because that's what led to your death. The doctor who knows too much. And if there's a reckoning moment coming in the entertainment industry surrounding celebrity deaths, a la Kim Porter, if anybody were to take Diddy down, you would go crashing with him as the coroner who misruled, because I know that there was a second autopsy done on her that said that something was found in her system. You said it was natural causes, sickness. That's why it was Diddy who sealed the deal for you. Not saying that he took you out. I don't think Diddy took you out. I think someone else. Someone higher than Diddy. Because Diddy got himself caught up in some stuff that had a domino effect in the industry. It got people's ears up, noses wide open, mouths tweeting, twittering, threading, talking. Diddy did. And because you helped him on this one and he got caught, you could have possibly ended up getting caught up too. Somebody couldn't afford to have that because you are the go-to. You've got other things. Now, if people start questioning Kim Porter's death not being an accident but a murder, and it's proven because Diddy goes down, what do you think they're going to say about the coroner who ruled it natural when somebody else said it wasn't? They're going to look into you and they're going to start, which is what I'm doing now. Was I not reading Kim Porter? Was I not reading Kim Porter and I'll be sure? And he told me to look into the doctor, and I did. And I looked into him with Kim Porter. And then I decided to look into him on his own, in his career. If I did it, somebody else would have done it with concrete proof that Diddy murdered Kim Porter allegedly, and you reported that it wasn't. So they're going to ask, what about Michael Jackson? Because remember, the doctor went on trial. Brittany Murphy, they were saying her mom had something to do with her death, allegedly. Paul Walker, people were saying he did not die instantly, like you said he did. They said he was screaming for help. Why would nobody have helped him? And then you get up there and say that he died quickly. What was the cover up in that? Whitney Houston, come on now. We can't have people looking into that and forcing you to talk, getting you on stands and testifying and saying something that will tarnish your image as Hollywood's go-to doctor, and everybody start looking into your cases. This is why Dr. Ed Winton is no longer with us, because P. Diddy got caught up. Recent past Ed Winton, whatever health issues you said Kim had, she didn't. Whatever health issues they said took you out, they didn't. Now, why was this card in his so below position when I read him? This was in his recent past, upright. This was in his so below position, upright. Methinks that you are the natural cause, doctor. The one that they call, that they know will sign off on any narrative that they need. Dr. Winton, I also smell, me smells that you allegedly, and I don't give a fuck about your legacy. These are allegations. These are allegations based on my crazy ass opinion. I'm crazy. Dr. Ed Winton, you smell like the Grim Reaper yourself. You know what I see in my mind, Dr. Jekyll and Hyde? I see you doing strange things with bodies. I see you enjoying working with corpses. Now, to be a coroner, you would have to be at some level of comfortability with working with corpses, but no. Did you smell their bodies while they were on the table? Did you play with their hair, the women? Did you touch their breasts? Did you rub your hand down their cold, clamp, dampy thighs? Down and then upwards. I asked in your other reading, did you have a kink for prostitutes? I like to talk to LA and its inhabitants about cases of missing prostitutes in the past. Were there any cases of prostitutes, homeless women that just disappeared? I'm sure maybe a lot of people wouldn't know this, because if they're homeless and prostitutes, who's watching? Who's looking? I'm curious, because it takes one to know one. Why did they trust you with this? Why did they trust you with these tasks? Dr. Ed Winton. Winter. Is that why you were drug in here in chains? Drug into my energy in chains by that same demon. I've looked up his name in the grimoire. I found who the demon was. Mr. Natural Causes. Did you go the same way that you lived? The Helper. the fixer. Dr. Ed Winton, I allegedly believe that you have your own bodies. I mentioned psychopaths and serial killers in my I'll Be Sure reading. Dr. Ed Winton, you smell like blood. Fresh blood. Uncoagulated blood. It's not death and decay I smell on you. It's fresh blood. Ace of Cups in your as above position. You know a little something about prescriptions. Prescribing things that have things, chemicals, compounds in them that cause certain reactions in the body. You know a thing about that. You have prescribed, recommended, some of these things. Propofol is something that you are very familiar with. I smell an elite, close-knit network of doctor killers in LA, the city of angels. Those angels, the angels. I asked before in my Hollywood reading, what angels? Fallen ones. The city of fallen angels. The city of fallen stars. Angels that once shined and adorned themselves in the sky and were thrown down because of their rebellion. In those hills of Hollywood, I wonder if there is a cave that has something in there that keeps the energy of Los Angeles, those angels, those fallen angels, the city of fallen stars. There is a close-knit network of doctors. Not too many clean ones deal with celebrities. You know a thing or two about how to cause death that looks like natural causes. You know that there's something that you can take, put in someone's food, cause them to ingest some way. A chemical. You know a thing or two about that. You guys use it in LA when you want it clean. When you want it clean. That's how you knew what happened with Kim. You knew what she was taking. You knew what she was prescribed. So below. This also came up in I'll Be Sure when I said certain people had to be eliminated. Was it my I'll Be Sure reading? Because I just saw this. Oh yes, because I was talking about Al being eliminated because he was involved. You were a loose end in your so below position because you have a thing with knowing about prescribing people things that cause them to die. Was Paul Walker under the influence of any kind of medication when he died? I don't know. I don't know why Paul Walker's death stands out in your energy, but I think that at that point, maybe you decided to back out. Maybe Kim Porter was supposed to be just like something that you never thought would come back to haunt you. Methinks whispers around LA about Diddy were loud even before they rang in our ears. If he goes down, you go down, we go down. You had to go. Dr. Propofol. This is why the expose, his secrets. There's a scorpion in this card. Coroners, death doctors, are under the rulership of the 8th house, Pluto. This scorpion was howling at the moon, coming up out of the water and getting ready to tell its secrets. The dogs were howling at the moon. The scorpion was coming. The death doctor was coming up. Dogs were howling at the moon. People were talking. People were talking. Things were getting ready to be exposed. Dr. Death here, the scorpion, was getting ready to come out of his waters, his calm, cool waters of retirement, and being called to speak on what he knows. You retired after Kim Porter. Too risky, too messy. Didn't want to be involved. Didn't want to be involved anymore. Too old, too tired. And dealing with the rappers is the thing that's going to get me killed. Dealing with Hollywood people, there's more power over there. Because the ones who are ordering the hits are more powerful than Diddy. White power. This rap guy stuff, that's not your thing. But Diddy had the money and the connects. So you were called to handle that. But you wanted no mas after that. Paul Walker almost got you caught. Methinks you were ready to retire after that. But you retired after Kim. External energy. Here you are again. This is the energy that was in his hopes and fears. Every card that I'm pulling now, I pulled when I asked him about Kim Porter. This one, this one, this one, this one. Come on, y'all. That's not a coincidence. There's 72 cards in this deck, and I mixed them up, shuffled them up on film with you guys so nobody can ever play me about the things that I see. Why are these same cards coming up in the same reading? Well, because I'm talking about the same person. This was in his hopes and fears when I read him for Kim Porter. This is in his external energy now. Please pray for me. Because I have him here talking to me, this is what his soul is asking me. Please pray for me. He's playing on my compassion because I have the rapport that I do with the spirits because I come as a seeker. I don't usually compel them. I don't have the same relationship with them that other practitioners have. They conjure up the spirits, compel them, bind them, appease them with offerings to do their bidding. Human stuff. Give me more money. Give me love. Give me this. Give me that. I ask for wisdom. I ask to speak on behalf of those wronged. I have prayed for demons before. I've had a demon ask me for prayer. Daughter of the blue flame, worker of light. God hears her prayers. Can you please ask God to raise me out of my lowly state? And so Dr. Ed Winton, in his lowly state where he is, wants the same thing from me. No. Your wife, the Empress, is in your hopes and fears. What does she know? Or is this Whitney? Outcome? The world. Gone the glory. Allegedly, the same person who took out Whitney, allegedly, was the same person who took you or ordered you to glory. Methinks that person is caught up in a Me Too too, or could possibly be. Allegedly, Clive Davis. Allegedly. Just curious. Allegedly. This is story time with Adina. Once upon a time, Clive Davis allegedly ordered the hit of Whitney Houston and Dr. Ed Winter. And then everybody lived happily ever after in a mushroom castle. The end. Look, here's a card that was in his challenging position in my last reading. On the bottom of the deck, the celebrity Grim Reaper. Paying. People being paid. He is employed, called upon in Hollywood when somebody does something foolish and don't want to get caught up for it. The celebrity undertaker. Your problem is that all of those celebrity deaths that you managed had to be buried with you before you could be called to bring it to the light. Now, this is on the bottom of the deck. The moon is here as well. Sun and the moon, both luminaries of the sky, both providing light. One provides light in darkness, one provides light in the day. But the one that provided light in the day was in reverse, while the one that provides light in the darkness is in reverse, exposing what was hidden. The sun in reverse hides what was hidden. The moon in reverse reveals what was hidden. This Ace of Wands, though, vexes me. A card fell out. Four of Wands. This was in I'll Be Sure's outcome. Dr. Ed Winter, your energy, your hands were all over this Kim Porter situation. You're just as guilty. You're just as guilty. Did you have anything to do with getting that medication in the hands of the doctor who put it into the hands of Kim Porter? Do they come to you to know what to take to cause death? Doctor of death. You would know. You would know. Do they come to you, Grim Reaper, to know how to reap and then pay you handsomely out of their own pocket and through the county by making you manage those cases? Just curious. Hollywood doctor. Ace of Wands. That fell out of my hands, but I don't want to keep it. Even though I'm reading the Ace of Wands reverse and that was the Four of Wands. If it's meant to be here, it'll come back to me. Talk to me about this Ace of Wands. When you said that Paul Walker passed away quickly, that changed things for you. But also, this is also people coming forward talking about things. You were vexed. That Paul Walker case vexed you. Did you retire soon after that? Was that the last celebrity case that you handled before Kim Porter? You didn't want to be involved anymore because it was too close to you getting caught. But you got out of it. The media helped get you out of that by burying anything anybody says that was contrary. If they couldn't bury it, it would be somewhere deep in the deep recesses of the internet, not on the popular sites, not on the first page Google searches. You got to be deep in the trenches on Reddit or LSA or something like that to hear the people who said, no, that's not how it happened. He was screaming for help. That vexed you. That made you want to stop. It made you want to stop. Let me look into this Vex card because you had done this for a long time. Those dreams about... See, now I'm tapping into your energy. Nine of Swords. What were you vexed about? What you done? You're the Magician in reverse. You came up as the Magician in reverse. This came up in a reading that I did yesterday for one of my subscribers. In the context, I was telling her when this card came up, don't trust this person. They're manipulative. They got shit up their sleeves. Could be slightly dangerous. Dr. Propofol, why are you the Magician in reverse? Look at you, the coroner here with your table and your tools, doing the autopsies. Dr. Death, what were you doing to those bodies on your table? I'm so curious. I'm so curious. Your secret out there is known amongst the inner circles about what you like, about your kinks, about your peculiar tastes. That's why you are the go-to, because you're down with the get down, Dr. Death. Your own dark deeds were vexing you. This is why at the time of your death, the Ace of Wands is in reverse. You had retired. You wanted to retire in peace and have all of your sins washed away. You still want them washed away because at the time of your death, you wanted to atone for all the wrongs that you did. Paul Walker never left your consciousness. Whitney Houston never left your consciousness. What did you do to her body? Was she another one that you were a fan of? That black woman is beautiful. And when you finally got your hands on her, did her spirit, did it haunt you in your sleep, Dr. Death? I think it did. I think it haunted you in your wake and your sleeping. I think towards the end, when you decided to retire after Kim Porter, all of the bodies, all of your bodies were haunting you. Which is why you so earnestly are praying for forgiveness. Because now you're in their world. You're in their realm now. Some of them you sent. Some of them you caused not to get justice. You're in their world now. I would never pray for you. Unless I pray that the hungriest, thirstiest, most deprived demons in the underworld find their feast. No mercy here. Dr. Death, I want to look into this. I want to know what you've done. You want atonement? Well, you have to pay for your sins. And you're going to pay in front of 361 people today. That's the best I can do for you in helping you, bringing your sins to light. That's all. That's all you get from me. Magician in reversed. Queen of Swords. Did Dr. Ed Winton have another assistant doctor, associate doctor in the coroner's office that was a woman? Dr. Death. I see a woman behind that Magician reverse. A Queen of Swords upright. She gives me doctor vibes too. I don't know what to say about that. So I'm gonna let that cook for right now. Ten of Swords reverse. Challenging position. Oh, Dr. Death. Dr. Death. Dr. Death. Dr. Death. The go-to. Coroner. The one who they know will keep their business, their lives, their opportunities coming in whenever they've done something that could challenge that. Dr. Death, the coroner. With your unorthodox medical practices, it's a good thing that you are a coroner and that you're not a pediatrician or an OBGYN. They call you because you do things other doctors don't do. You have a peculiarity. Something about your past, Dr. Death. Dr. Death, methinks that people know. See, I think a long time ago, somebody figured out before you started, before you became the go-to, I don't think you initially chose that life. It feels like that life chose you because someone knew something about you that could ruin your career, that could ruin your life. They knew about your peculiarities, about your tastes, about your habits in the late night hours. Cruising the streets of LA, the up and coming doctor who does autopsies and cuts people open for a living. Somebody knew about your peculiar tastes and your peculiar habits. And somebody said, I can work with people like you. There's a place here for people like you in Hollywood with your expertise and your peculiar tastes. Join us. Do these things. Let us bring you these cases, and your secret is safe, and we'll pay you. And your secret will be safe, and you'll have free reign to do what you please as long as you don't get caught. We have power. We have protections in place. We know what you like. They're easy to cover up. Nobody looks for them anyways. You can continue taking those. If you take our cases, sign off where we need you to sign off, on what we need you to sign off on, that was fine. Then they come, doctor, tell us about some of your methods. I have a problem that I need to go away. A high profile problem that I need to go away. I know you know a lot about these things. What can make someone pass away and make it look like it was natural causes? I got just the thing. It's not approved by the FDA or any board because it causes death. Guaranteed. Dr. Death. That's why they chose you, because you were already the expert from your own experiments. Dr. Death. Where do I want to go? Three of Pentacles in reverse, so below. Three of Pentacles in reverse, Four of Pentacles in reverse. You had to go before you could give away secrets, before those secrets could be pried from your hands by the law. Because this domino effect of Me Too between hip hop and Hollywood, and you had been caught up in both. You were the piece of the puzzle that completes the entire puzzle between Hollywood and hip hop. And if you went down for those, God forbid somebody looks into other cases that you worked on where some strange things happen, either to cadavers or to homeless women or prostitutes in LA back in the day. This gives me back in the day energy. Before he became Dr. Ed Winter, when he was still practicing to become Dr. Ed Winter. He was practicing, all right. You had to go for that reason. You had so much that could topple down Hollywood. From your time living in Hollywood, coming up as a doctor in the medical community in Hollywood, and your over 20-year career in Hollywood. You literally know where all the bodies are buried. And if all involved parties, P. Diddy, Clive Davis allegedly, and whomever else, employed you for their own reasons or own gain, you gotta go. You gotta go. All these celebrity deaths I just called up, you had to go. You gotta go. All those high-profile celebrity deaths that were always shrouded in mystery and questions, they were all yours. You are the piece. You had to go. The Empress. I get Whitney Houston. That gives me Whitney Houston. Knight of Wands. First one on the scene. I see they called you in and you came quickly. You got there. Woman, woman, woman. I'm reading the Emperor, and the Queen of Pentacles is on the bottom. The Queen of Cups is on the bottom. The Queen of Wands is on the bottom. And the Queen of Swords is in some of my clarifying cards. And the Empress is in your hopes and fears position. Dr. Death, I don't think I'm talking about Whitney Houston here. Will Thursday work? Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. Yes, Thursday will work. I'm getting ready to join a new brokerage. They handle a lot of luxury properties here where I live. I used to be intimidated because I thought I wasn't good enough to roll with the big dogs like them. But since I have left my other brokerage and I'm looking for a new home, we're going to sit down and chat on Thursday about me possibly joining their team. We shall see how they go. All the women are here, and the Empress, who embodies all of the queens in the deck, is in your hopes and fears. Dr. Death, when I clarified her, these wands came out. Dr. Death, this has nothing to do with Whitney Houston, does it? This has everything to do with your peculiar tastes for women. Especially the ones that aren't alive anymore. Me thinks me sees you. Stalking. Women. Live ones, dead ones. Salivating. All these wands. Fire, passion, energy, wands. You and your peculiar tastes. Dr. Death. Did you pick up prostitutes, allegedly, and pay them for sex, allegedly? And then dispose of them, allegedly? Dr. Death, is that what you did? Dark Doctor? Stalking women? In LA, in the... What district is this? This is a rich people district. Oh, no. No, maybe not rich people. A lot of money to the families to cover up what really happened to certain people. This feels like missing persons cases in LA regarding women. This doesn't feel recent. This feels like back in the day. And a lot of cover up from the LAPD as well. And the media to cover up these deaths because they could be linked back to Dr. Death, allegedly. The final outcome with the world. That's you gone to glory, Dr. Death. That's you gone on to glory, the world. Let's talk about it. Gone on to glory, Dr. Death. Methinks at the time of your death, you were sick. You did have Parkinson's. That's not what took you out. Were you out? Were you celebrating? Were you out with friends, eating, drinking, or something? Where did you die? Were you home? Where were you when you passed away? You didn't die from Parkinson. Methinks your family was probably paid too. I don't think I've heard any of his family contest his death. But it wasn't how they said, but they knew. Which is why nobody will contest. They know why you had to go. You had to be silenced before someone could implicate you. I see a woman. This Queen of Cups. Now, why did that look like children? Are those Diddy's girls? I think those are Diddy's girls. You did get taken out because of the Kim Porter situation, though, because Diddy and Clive couldn't let you be the missing link to both of their conspiracies surrounding women. I don't know where you were when you passed away. Let me see if I can find it, and then I'm gonna wrap this up because we are on an hour, and I didn't intend to do all these long readings, but y'all have to bear with me when I am working my way through something. He hung up his badges in 2019. He retired in 2019. Kim Porter passed away 2018. Professor, Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. Is that what you used to teach? Molecular biology? Knowing how the molecules in the body works, knowing what chemicals to break them down. Dr. Death? Ed Winter, cause of death. Let me look at that because I want to know. He died in Woodland Hills, California, of complications from Parkinson's disease. His ashes were scattered into the Pacific Ocean. See, there's not a lot of information around his death. All I see is information around his career. I'm really just trying to see where he died so that I don't say that it was in the company of a woman when it wasn't. Just looking at his picture makes me sick to my stomach because I see a Nazi salute. He was absolutely a part of a fraternal order, the same fraternal order that the police ascribe themselves to. I'm going to wrap this up. He died of natural causes at his Los Angeles home on Friday. Now let me ask, is he married? Ed Winter, wife? Linda Foster. You was married to an actress, Dr. Death? No. Who was Edward Winter married to? Edward Foster. We got to be talking about another. No, that said Edward Winter. Let me put doctor. Y'all, please bear with me. Please, please. Okay, so here is, y'all, this is so funny. I can't find anything about him, whether he had a wife, a family. Winter retired from his position as Deputy LA County Coroner in 2019 after nearly 17 years on the job. And that's it. So I don't know if he was married. Me thinks he died in the company of a woman, one of his beloved Hollywood gals, who gave him the same deadly dose that he was involved in other people giving other people. That is Dr. Ed Winter. And now, Demon, you can take him back to wherever he belongs and feast. And with that being said, that is my Dr. Ed Winter reading. This was interesting. Bye.